All right, we have a great video today for you. We are talking about the Babymetal interview that happened with the subsidiary of Fox News over in New York City. And joining us is Joe, who conducted the interview with Babymetal. We're going to talk about the behind the scenes of what happened, and we're going to tell some stories and have some laughs. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of these podcasts that come out. If you guys like what we do and you want to support us further, consider checking out our Patreon. We do group reactions over there. Also, we do have merch out, which is down in the links down below. Enjoy the podcast, guys.
My name is Joe. I work over here at Fox 5 in New York. I'm a cameraman, editor, producer, and now executive producer of
Hell yeah.
the Future of Music franchise for our web team. So, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Hell yeah.
And and I'm a Asian rock and metal fanatic. I love it. It's crazy. It's awesome. And and that's pretty much it. I mean, been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Before I worked here at Fox, I worked at the WWE, and before I worked at the WWE, I worked at MTV for a bunch of years. So
hell yeah. So
stuff for a while.
And one of the goals, right, with this was to get the Babymetal video to as many views as possible, so you could get that executive producer
so I can get
spot.
the franchise.
Yeah, so you get the franchise, so we can actually do more things, right? If I got that correct.
Yeah, well, when we get into talking about it, I mentioned to you briefly a few things, but there's a couple more things coming up.
Okay.
That you probably don't even know about.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's going to be fun, man. And it's just like, now I got a little tiny budget. I got some money now.
That's
By the way, a lot
awesome.
of people have been asking about your band. They really like the Phoenix song.
Well, it's funny you mention that because we're actually, after this, we're going to practice right now. We're getting the new album all geared up. We just got our website done, getting ready for 2024. Got merch dropped out for it for pre-order already, and we're like going hard. So we're going hard at it. We're just getting stuff done.
Why don't we set it up that we do a little in-depth thing on your band?
Yeah. Like right now, or you mean later?
No, not right now.
I was like, yeah, we'll do that later. Hell yeah, man.
Let's do a piece, man. You
yeah,
guys
hell
are
yeah.
like the future of music. You're
Heck yeah.
Twitch streamers, reactors that have a band, and it's just like that's kind of a cool angle. Let's run with that.
Yeah, it's something that we've like tried to do for like years, but not
but
years,
now you got me.
Past years. Yeah. All of this has been amazing. Like everything's been happening. I still can't even like fathom that met Babymetal at all, which is just insane. And then even like Babymetal this year, Hanabi this year, like what the heck? It's been really wild.
You guys have been the envy of the Babymetal and Bandmaid communities for a while, just through the sheer fact that you guys got to meet them.
The Bandmaid thing was unfortunate, but
I actually have some news on that.
Yeah. Well, if you're allowed to say, go for it. But
yeah, I'll tell you what I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
I had Ryan go back and look at the interview to see what would still work today, because the interview, is a year old now.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that there's plenty in there that would be just like general band information and stuff like that would work. So he's going to work with me, and we're going to put a piece together. And I'm going to reach out to their management to get music rights. And as long as they be somewhat agreeable. If not, I still have the concert that I recorded in New York. And as long as, keep it to 15 seconds, they can't say anything. Really, the music parts, if I keep it to 15 seconds, besides I recorded it. And I got to mix off the board and all that stuff. So it sounds really good. You heard it. You heard
the mix off the board for Bandmaid it came out really good. And it's cool because it was like captured their raw essence of their sound. And it sounded amazing just straight off of the board, which I feel honored to even be able to hear that. But we couldn't do that with Babymetal. Cool. Babymetal did not allow that.
Damn.
Like they're
That
way
was
more
the
strict.
Hammerstein. That was all union. They would have let us do it, but
Ah,
the Hammerstein said, "Nah,
yeah. I,
we got to use their guys."
well, so funny story about this whole entire thing is that you had done an interview with Babymetal in 2014, and they had the exact same tour manager on this meetup also. So let's just start there. Let's start with us getting to that venue, getting everything started, and how that all went down.
That was so crazy. Like the woman who I won't say her name, but comes walking over to the truck and she goes, "I know you." And I was just like, "Holy crap." I go and I said her name and she was just like, "Yeah." She goes, "You were here in 2014." And I was like, "Oh my God, you're still with them?" She goes, "Yep, I'm still with them." And by the way, that greased a lot of wheels getting in and doing everything, was knowing her so well. Because I didn't realize that she was on the email chain. And because there was so many people on the email chain.
Yeah.
And, but you saw how cool she was. She was legit cool. And,
She was not to be messed with, okay? Because
oh yeah, she was all business.
Yeah, when I got in there, there was already an issue because Joe and I were trying to walk in, so she was escorting us through the back to the side door from the right of the line. And as we were heading in, the people that were letting us in were giving her and us crap, and they're like, "Well, I already put on the list, and this is not supposed to be how it's done." And she's like kind of schooling them, which was awesome. You could tell she's just taking charge of the entire situation.
Saying, "I ain't taking this crap." She goes,
Yeah.
"You see this?" She was pointing to her wrist and she goes, "We're running this venue today."
Yeah, pretty much.
She said that?
Yeah, I mean, because they have contracts that they do ahead of time, and those contracts stipulate what is allowed to happen and what they should have already ready to go by the time they get there. And if they don't have that kind of information and the proper setup that's within the contract, yeah, they'll get pissed because that's what they agreed upon. And some people don't read the agreements all the way through fully, and they kind of skip over things and they don't realize what's allowed, or their management didn't pass it down. So you got to get strict with them, because if you don't, they'll just walk all over you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Seen this happen multiple times.
What a boss, though.
Yeah, exactly.
oh yeah, she was definitely not to be messed with.
Yeah. And but she's really cool. So it's cool. So though we got there, right, and we had to get all the equipment and stuff and walk. You warned me we had to walk like four
I told you when we
stairs.
did the interview in 2014, I go, "I hope you got your hiking shoes on because they're on the top floor and it's a tiny staircase and it's a lot of stairs."
Yeah, it was. So we had to bring up the camera gear, the audio gear, the stands, the lights, and all that stuff. We brought all up.
Batteries.
Yep.
The Sennheiser mic, which we won't talk about yet.
Oh yeah, I'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, and it's interesting because as we're walking up, we start seeing the rooms for everybody. Like we see the commie band
so
room.
Cool. That was so
like literally
cool.
just this commie band and like green room or whatnot. And I'm like, oh shit, like this is happening. So as we're going up the stairs, I'm like, wow. And then what other room do we see?
Along at the commie band sign. Then they had a set list mounted on the wall. I took a picture of that.
Yeah.
Then you saw Babymetal's room, and then we still going upstairs.
Yeah, so we start seeing all their rooms as we're going up. So like it was just sinking in what was about to happen. Like, and to me, honestly, it really doesn't even feel like it really happened. It really doesn't. It almost feels like it didn't even exist. So like when we talk about here on the channel, when Bring Me the Horizon, like the Ollie was giving them all hugs, I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous. I'm like, wait a second, I actually met them. Like, what am I talking about? But it's just crazy. So we're walking up those staircases, and we had about like 30 to 40 minutes to set up, right, when we got up there.
Yeah, it's about a half hour.
Yeah, about a half hour. And go ahead.
Yeah, and the first thing we do is we got to set the camera up, set the lights up, and the whole time we got to talk to, because there's a room full of people, like basically really curious about what it is we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
There was the translator who was basically, as I found out later, is like basically Kay's assistant. She's like,
Oh, she is. Okay.
Oh wow.
yeah, that's my connection to Kay.
By the way, just a quick thing about the translator. She had nothing but like amazing, phenomenal things to say about the girls. She kept raving about them, and we didn't even ask. She just started talking on her own. We didn't like ask her anything. She just was like talking about how the girls are amazing and so crazy where they came from. So, and that was cool to hear.
How hard they work.
Yeah, how hard they work.
And honestly, this tour is insane. The fact that they're basically playing like every 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, and so, I give major props for that. But yeah, she was raving about them.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of before we met them was when we realized who was sitting there on the computer.
Yeah, exactly. So I went up to a person with glasses on, some full back hair, and I'm just thinking about meeting Babymetal at the time. I'm not really thinking about so I'm like just talking, passing the time, and I was talking to this gentleman about like. I think I forgot what we talked about now. We were talking about sound at one point, how they set it up, because I thought he was part of like, I guess he is technically. It was like setting up the stage and stuff, like one of the managers or whatnot, which he was one of the managers. And we're talking about that, and he's saying thank you. He's super polite, and then he walks out, and that translator goes on to say, oh yeah, when she was like gushing about the girls, she's like, yeah, Kay's done a great job with the girls, and I'm like. And wait, Koba? And because she pointed,
you knew more than me. I didn't know at that point when she said K, I was like,
I knew instantly she meant Koba, and I was like, oh my god! And I said Koba, and then I had to like restrain my excitement. And I'm like, wow! I just talked to the man for like 10 minutes. I didn't realize it was him.
But that's good though that you didn't know him, because you probably would have been a little bit more nervous to talk to him, knowing who he was. It's like, this is another crew guy. We're good.
Yeah. I was just talking all nonchalant.
I thought he was like a PR guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but meeting him was like, I still get chills thinking that I actually met that guy.
Yeah.
Because what did you say to him? Because then I'll tell you what I said to him. Because I don't think we were both kind of like glazed over at that point.
I think I was just saying about like how the girls are doing such an amazing job with the shows and how like awesome the setup is with the stage. And we didn't say much after that because like he was speaking pretty good English back, but it was still kind of very delayed responses or whatnot. And and it might have been, I don't know how long it was. It felt like it was 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not sure how long it was. And then the conversation just ended. It was all a blur. Because then you talked to him a lot afterwards, after the interview too.
Because I was trying to get, I wanted to get all my contact information correct, who I had to reach out to. And basically he was telling me, to reach out to Hiroko, and she was the one who helped me. So, but the only thing I said to him was, because I was like kind of like starstruck, which doesn't happen to me, but for some reason it did. And all I told him was, I just got to say thank you for creating this.
Yeah.
And that's really the only thing I said to him. That wasn't business related. And
I do got to say this part was funny. I was like, so after, I find out like, I'm like, oh, well, I'm an idiot. That was Koba. And I don't know what possessed me because I felt really bad because we did the interview. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. We did the interview, and after the interview, I was like, I need to say something because I accidentally did not ask the question. So I was supposed to ask a question. Joe had already asked it already. So when he put me on the spot, I'm like, I couldn't think of anything because the one question I had was already asked. I'm like, it's fine. We'll leave it there at that, right? But I was like, okay, well, I had to do something. I got to try to talk to them or do something. So I ended up shaking the girls' hands. And then I went up to Koba. I'm like, hey, you want to take a picture?
Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that.
He politely declined. But it was hilarious. I knew he was going to say no. He never does that. So I was like, but I'm like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it.
Do you think that flattered him, though? A little bit?
I think it did, but it was funny because he was like, no. no.
picture,
Yeah,
no
he was like,
picture.
no. Like, all right.
I respect you. Relax.
I had to try though. Like, I had to try.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd been pretty sick.
That would have been cool.
But Kobe doesn't take pictures. He doesn't take pictures with
Or you should have been
anyone,
like, for my private use, not for the internet.
yeah. But yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious because the way he's like, no. He was like, did not want that.
Yeah, he was really
picture.
funny about that. It was just like,
Not want
and
the
then
picture.
he was really like, he wasn't going to have it, because, of course, quick with the phone out, like, to get a picture. And he was just like, no. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. I didn't have the phone out, though. I just asked him, like, hey, could we
I
get a
had mine
picture?
out.
Oh, you did? Yeah. No, I went up to him like, hey, could we get a picture? I just went like that. And then as soon as he went, no, shaking his head, I'm like, okay, no worries. I backed away. I was like, all right.
That was a moment.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. The part where they like shook their hands and we were having the small talk with the girls. I don't remember what the fuck I said to them. I don't remember at all. I really don't. I hope I said something. I do remember saying thank you and stuff, but I guess you should just watch the video back to see what I said. We did film it, right?
Yes, we did film it.
So
and there is proof on that video that you did shake their hands.
It's okay. I don't like. It's fine if people don't believe me. I'm already getting those comments anyways. I was like, it's whatever. It's like I know it happened. That's all that matters. It was
photoshopped or what?
Yeah, it was all Photoshop. It was CGI.
That was all Photoshop.
It's all CGI. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I watched the video to see how cringe.
That's unbelievable.
I don't want to. Well, anyways, hey, I'm really thankful for the whole experience. By the way, Joe, it was so awesome to be part of it. It was awesome to help you out with as much as I could. And the funny thing about helping you out with this is, my main job is sound engineer, audio, and doing that. What I just did on my 3-week tour was audio. And to be granted, it had nothing to do with me, okay? The microphone was shot. But leading up to the interview.
You tell the story so well, though. But
leading up to the interview, it was 5 minutes before. And we're I don't know why we decided to test the audio too late. It seems like it's always the last thing to be checked no matter what. And we're sitting
I always trust that the audio is going to be fine.
You never trust that, Joe. You never trust that the audio is going to be fine. I've learned this over the years. Every time you trust it, it never goes well. And we're going up there, and I just see Joe pounding on the mic. I'm like, oh, no.
I'm like, what the hell? And I slid the cover off it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, he slid the cover off of it, and we're plugging it in. I don't see anything on there. I'm making sure it has phantom power because it's one of those mics you have to turn on some phantom power, and normally that's the first thing missed with those mics, right? So I was really nervous because shotgun mics really sound good. It's great quality because you could put over them. That's what we did for the Bandmaid interviews. We held the shotgun mics, right? And they did pretty well on it. And as we're doing that, I'm just in my head, I didn't realize you had another mic just in the bag. He had a Fox mic. Yeah. And this is leading up to them coming, guys. We have 2 minutes left, 3 minutes, and we're sitting there
2 or 3 minutes before they were going to walk in, and we're freaking out, oh shit. But the best part was I knew that we had the Fox mic.
Yeah, but here's what I'm thinking. So listen, because we have 2 minutes left, right? And one mic doesn't work. And now Joe's like, hey, Ellen, we got this wireless mic. I'm like, oh no, wireless mics always have the worst problems ever. They're just notoriously known to not work at a moment's notice, right? You have frequencies that fuck them up, or something happens where the mic just doesn't work. So when you said the wireless mic, I'm like, I hope this works. But you did it. You plugged it in, and sure enough, it worked right away. And bam, the girls walk in.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my god!
I went check, and the next thing you know is.
Yeah, they're right behind us.
Oh my god, it's happening! Holy shit! Be cool.
Yeah,
but it actually worked out better because I liked having them with the mic.
I did too. That was much better.
That actually looked really good. And if you've seen on the internet, there's all kinds of memes with Momo holding the mic.
Mm-hmm.
because I think this was probably one of the first times that she actually did an interview where Sue wasn't doing all the talking.
Yeah, that's one thing. I think this is by far one of my favorite interviews with Babymetal, because I'm surprised that they let you leave in what you left in. And since you were able to leave in what you left in, I'm hoping management realizes how much the fans truly appreciate the interview, because all of you have commented on this video, and you guys should continue to comment on it.
Yeah, really.
If
we can run that up some more, believe me, the band is watching.
Yeah, we have 112,000 views on this, 835 comments. So if you're going in the comments saying you like this style of interview, like a lot of you were saying in this, maybe they'll be open. They'll be open to having more interviews like this, where, they let in those like funny moments, those more intimate moments.
That was such a natural interview.
Yeah.
It was, the girls were just like so into it, and I was goofy and I kind of made them laugh, which was good. And that's why I could have took out my mistake, when I said 14 years, I saw you 14 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's something to mention too. Like, Joe showed them after the interview.
Oh God!
Showed them the old interview, like with Yui in it and stuff, and they were like you had them all laughing when you showed them that interview. I forgot about that, and they were just like,
Moa grabbed my phone and went, no.
What the fuck? I wonder how much it hit them in the feels though, seeing Yui in that video when you show it to them. I kind of wonder if that was. I don't know how they feel about that, because Yui was a big part of Babymetal, of course, and then she's not there, and kind of seeing that throwback. I know for me, when I see throwbacks of like a past band that I was in that was doing really well, it kind of hits me and it feels like, oh man, those times, back in the day. So I wonder what they were thinking when they saw that, but they laughed at it. They laughed at it, so that was a good thing.
Belly laughs out of them, man. They were legit like. They didn't want. Did you get the vibe that they didn't want the interview to end?
I think it was a good interview because they were able to just speak in Japanese, and I think they were able to just elaborate a lot more. And the relationship between the translator and the girls, since the translator had so much appreciation for them, I think it just resonated with everybody. Because as the translator was interviewing, they were laughing at some of the questions, or they were laughing with each other about some of the questions. But the crew behind us, like the person that did their makeup and stuff, she was laughing, and there's a couple other people behind us that were laughing that were part of the Babymetal crew or setting up the production, because they had another interview right after us. Yeah, because the makeup artist
I was standing right next to the camera, and I got to keep eye contact with them the whole time. So I couldn't look turn around. That would be rude.
Yeah,
so I had no idea that they were liking that.
The makeup artist was freaking beautiful. I was like, holy crap. I can see why you're the makeup artist. Oh my God. Like, she looked like a straight up, like one of those like television face models or whatnot. And she was the one that was laughing behind me when you were doing the interview. I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
She did not look like a real person.
Should have gotten a picture with her.
And that was it.
Yeah, that'd been weird. Hey, can I get a picture?
You're part of the Babymetal crew. You're famous.
But that's the thing is, I think a lot of these people don't want pictures. They don't want to be out in the public. And I always forget about that. There is people out there that don't want pictures, or they don't want to be.
I run into them every day.
Yep.
I run into them every day.
Yeah. There's a video that's coming out soon, and I ran into that a lot. But it's a really cool video. I can't wait to share with you. I can't say anything, but I know what you're talking about. So I've done some street interviews just recently, and it's been very interesting how many people. MLS. Yeah, a lot of people are like, no, like straight up, like, no.
And just think, I walk up and I got a Fox mic flag, and I'm in New York City, which is not a Fox-friendly town.
Yeah. Wait, so New York City's what? New York City's not a Fox-friendly town? What do you mean by that? Or just politics or whatever, probably involved?
Politics.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, I work for Fox 5, not for Fox News, so it's a different animal, but people don't know that.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people appreciate the media exposure, and I think there's some people that are going to see this that were on the Fox News channel that haven't heard about them before, which is really cool. And I love that they're getting out there.
Of emails and stuff from people saying, I never even knew this was a thing, and now I love it.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what they're saying. And I was just like, cool. I go, I've been doing this for a while, and I've been enjoying this music for a while. But so let's see.
As far as the
funny moments in the interview.
What real quick, as far as the questions, guys, they did not answer all of our questions. We did prep questions for them.
Yeah,
and sent that
submitted
to them.
Ahead of time a list of questions, and Koba picked out the ones that he wanted me to ask. So, but they were great questions. I mean, I was surprised.
I thought they were good.
Those.
I'm really happy that they took some of the fan questions, because some of those questions were inspired by you guys that submitted a lot of them to me on Discord. So appreciate you all for doing that. I can't remember which question was from which, but they did allow some of those in, which was really cool. So.
I was when they handed me the list of the questions that I was okay with, and I elaborated on some of the questions too. I didn't read them verbatim, so I kind of threw in when I talked about, Nemophilia, and when I told them they were like the pioneers of, female heavy metal. And then I go, and you inspired bands like, Nemophilia and Bandmaid. That wasn't in my question. I just threw that in on the spot. Mm-hmm. And Moa really was like humbled by that question. I was like, really, I didn't even know what she was saying initially, but I could feel it in how she was saying it, that she was really humbled that, I called them the pioneers of female heavy metal coming out of Japan.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't gotten any blowback on that one yet.
Yeah, maybe one or two comments, but whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. I forgot what else we were going to say. Hey, guys, leave us any questions in the chat. Anything you guys want to know that we haven't talked about. But anyways, keep going, Joe. You're going to say something else about funny moments during the interview.
Oh, at the end, I'll just go to the one that I have a prop for. All right. So at the end of the interview, Alan and I, the first thing I did was, as soon as the interview was over, I go to Sue. I go, Sue, is it okay we get a picture? And she's like, yeah. She was like all excited, no problem. All right. So we go, I take my picture with them, and then Alan comes over, he takes his picture. And then Koba gives a fan to Sue and to Momo to give to me and Alan.
Yep.
And Momo gave him his fan, and Sue gave me mine. And the problem was, Sue handed it to me like this. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and I kind of half bowed and said thank you. And then I held it, and I was like, I don't know what it is. And,
did you really not know what it was? I wasn't sure if you were just saying that.
I was like, I was in another one. But no, I didn't really get what it was.
Yeah.
And then Sue comes over and takes it from me and goes like this, and goes.
Oh yeah, she taught us how to fan ourselves with a fan. That was hilarious.
And she fanned me.
Because she. And then she fans him, and she looks at me like, "This is how you do it." Like.
It was like embarrassing, but way cool.
We look like idiots right now.
And then I came up with the cringiest statement of all time. She hands me the fan back, okay? And then I take it and I go like this to her, and I go, I guess now I'm your biggest fan. And I when I said it.
I cringed a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm cringing right now, dude. I don't know how you could have said that.
So freaking cringe. It's cute, I didn't know what to say, and it was just like,
"What are you, 5?" I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh man.
Oh, it was so great though to see Sue. I will not forget that when she's fanning you and she looks at me like as a confirmation of, you get how to do this now. That was like, wow.
Oh man.
I don't know. When she handed it to me like this, I was like, I really didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But whatever. It was a moment.
It was a funny moment.
And I got to touch Sue's hands. So
yeah. It was like I just remember saying thank you to them, giving them all a handshake, and Babymetal, gave me the fan. I couldn't because Koba came out and gave fans to everybody. So all those pictures you're seeing with everybody, everyone gets a fan that interviews with them. So they pass out those specific fans.
Oh, cool.
I gave mine to Sergej Moldets for flying me out there in the first place. He's the one who got me out there. So shout out to him for getting me out there. Yeah, he has my legit, fan. Yeah. So
if you didn't find out, if he didn't fly you out, I would have been doing this alone,
No, I would have went out. I would have made sure. I would have went in debt. It's fine. It's like that meme. It's fine. Flames going around me. I don't care. I'll just go in debt.
I'm fine.
If you would have told me it's happening, like you're gonna go out, I'm like, I would have went.
Oh man.
But Sergej really helped me out a lot, and I really appreciate it, man.
Really nice guy.
That's
really,
why I
really
gave
nice
him.
Guy. I've been talking
that's why I had
to Discord.
I had to give him something from that meeting. So. And so I was so happy to give it to you, man. You deserve it. He's a huge Babymetal fan. He shows us his awesome merch, so you should check it out on Discord. He shares it with us. But yeah, my biggest merch now. Yeah,
nice.
That's a priceless item. That's really cool. So
you guys probably answered this already, but like, how long was the interview exactly? It's a relatively short video, but.
It was like about 20 minutes, right? It felt like eternity, honestly. It felt like you were just trapped in time.
Huh.
Yeah, it was about as long as the concert. Because the concert went by so fast. And so the interview.
Yeah, you forgot they have you forgot Babymetal has a time machine, bro.
Yeah, true.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
That's okay. Every question I would ask the girls understand English, and they speak English. But
Sue got way better. Oh, my God. She really understood and spoke back really well.
Yeah. So the thing was, we decided ahead of time that let them speak in Japanese because it'll be, they'll be more comfortable, and we'll get better answers. And we did. We got great answers. And if they would have spoken English, there might have been, they might have had to think too much about what they were going to say, and the answers probably would have been shorter and not as good. But with every question, they would sometimes the translator would have to tell them, like she had to tell Moa a couple of times. I guess Moa's English isn't that good, and she had to tell Moa what the question was. Then they would give the answer in Japanese, and then the translator would tell me what they just said. Mm-hmm. So that's what takes up a lot of time. You don't see that in the interview. Because, that's all cut out. So we're there for like a half hour, and the total interview that's online now is like 12 minutes, and that's including a question from 2014. So, but, I put every question, that we asked. But I don't know, the interview looks great. I mean,
Joe, you did an excellent job with the interview. I think it was amazing. It's probably one of the best Babymetal interviews, period, on the internet right now. Just the fact of authenticity of it. So, man, you did what you did. You got done. It looks great. I love how you put the fans in between the interview. Very awesome way to do it. So there's no regrets. That was just amazingly done. And I don't know if we'll ever get another interview like that for a while, because the biggest thing is Babymetal doesn't have a lot of fans of Babymetal interviewing Babymetal. It's a lot of just people that just know who Babymetal is that did the interviews. So the fact that they had fans interview them, I think made this interview special, in my opinion. If there is a better interview, hit me up with it. But from what I've seen, I've only seen like some people just interview Babymetal. I haven't really seen fans.
Yeah, backstage stuff, like quick questions. Even when they were on shows and stuff, the questions were lame. I think because we came at it from a fan perspective, I think that really it made it more genuine, and that's made them. They knew too that we were like major fanboys, and we had to try not to be fanboys while we were there. And But it was, I mean, it's one of the best interviews I ever did. I mean, for real. Just for well, I've told you this before. When I do interviews, I'd like to keep the people I'm interviewing laughing.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get more natural reactions.
Well, you know.
Did that with Bandmaid too.
Yeah, exactly. It was, yeah, but Bandmaid, they had a really... the difference between Bandmaid interview and Babymetal interview was night and day, because Bandmaid was on like lock and key, like they had to answer way stricter. Like it felt very, like some of you guys were saying, like this felt very natural. I think the Bandmaid one would have felt a little less natural because they had somebody like on them, which, hey, that's how some people run it. And I think we got really fortunate that Babymetal has more of a, believe it or not, lax approach to it. You know, I think
you would not think that. I mean, for real, you wouldn't think that.
Not at all. I think, I honestly think back then when they did their interview, they just didn't know enough English, and they had to make sure it was perfectly like scripted so they wouldn't mess up. I think that's what it is. I think now that they know more English, it could be more natural, more like fluid.
And we were goofy. And they liked that. I was goofy. You were like, you know, being that you didn't have to do the shotgun mic, well, pretty much your day was done.
Yeah.
You know? So you got to stand there and, you know, basically watch.
So I think this is a good question right here. He didn't ask it like a question, but what made you decide not to cut the stumbling of Momo Metal?
That was my choice. When I did that, it just was so natural. It was really endearing. And being that I was on a 3-shot the whole time, watching Moa and Sue, just looking at her and being so like encouraging, it just felt like this is real. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, and she recovered. She was very gracious in how she recovered. And when she looked over to them and saw them encouraging her, she took a second and recovered and then finished. And I could have cut that up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just felt right to leave it that way.
You know what I loved was at the end when they messed up the sign off and. Moa's just like staring at the camera, and I was like, they're doing their outros, right? And then it was her turn to do the Mo Metal Disc, and she just like stared at the camera instead. That was awesome.
That's the part that you know, opened the piece with them.
Yeah,
but we shot that at the end where they went, you know, Sue Metal Disc, you know, Mo Metal Disc, Momo Metal Disc, and we are Babymetal, you know, and with the thing, but. Sue did it good. Then Mo went to do it, and she just like froze.
Yeah.
And everybody in the room lost it. It was hysterical.
Yeah, that's when everyone was laughing behind me. Like the makeup artist was like, she was losing it. Everyone was laughing when Moa just like stared at the camera deadpan. It was awesome.
And I was like, okay, we'll do it again.
Let's do it again. Yeah. Oh man, was there anything you wanted to ask Eric?
I think you guys covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anybody in this Twitch live stream want to ask any questions? We can't put the blooper visibility because
we can't do bloopers.
Yeah, we can't do bloopers. Yeah, so you gotta remember this is still corporate and we still have to follow corporate rules, and that's why we can't share certain information, stuff like that. A lot of reasons why I have to stay quiet. I know a lot of you were like, why didn't you release this right away? This is what you got to go through with interviews. Some of these interviews just can't be done right away because it needs specific approval. We probably could have posted it and been fine, but then that means they'll never work with us ever again. Or they may never work with any other person ever again that's in the same space as us or who are related or known or in the same media landscape.
This had to be done by the numbers.
Yeah, you have to do it by the rules. You can't be going around piss people off. Well, I know that was a huge.
But it's just
that was a huge comment we got. But also, that was a huge comment. Like, oh, this was a little too late. I'm like, at least we got it posted,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 weeks later. I mean, that's pretty damn quick in my world. when you got to go through, dealing with record label, distributor, legal teams, it just, if I could show you the email chain, it's like, it just goes on and on and on, because you deal with one person, then that person's, gatekeeps the next person. Then you get to the next person, they're gatekeeping the person on top of them. And then by the time you actually get to the person that can actually say yes, you're like 15 emails in.
Yeah, I remember Nemaphila.
People in Japan. So every time I send them an email, I got to wait at least 24 hours for a reply.
Yeah, I remember Nemaphila was like that too. Nemaphila took a long time for approval.
Oh man, that was like
Nemaphila
months, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was way longer than Babymetal. We didn't even get response. Like, we didn't even get a follow up. We were just like, they just disappeared off the face of the earth, and out of the blue, out of nowhere, they're like, you can post it now. And I'm like, all right. And we posted it because we
originally, Mayu's baby was probably about 2 years old, but whatever.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's not just Babymetal, is my point. It's been all the Japanese bands.
It's all the bands, dude. When I did Metallica, when I interviewed Metallica, it was just like, I had the whole Fox legal department dealing with them because we used a couple of their songs in the piece.
Joaquin from Sabaton was much smoother for me, but that was during the album release, so I think they were probably like, just get it out there. I still can't believe that fucking happened.
They wanted the PR.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Joaquin did it right away.
I sent the email for that.
Oh, you sent the email for that?
Yeah.
All right, Eric.
Heck yeah.
Go, man.
So yeah, Pete, I really wish I showed him the songs, but it's one of those things I was trying to be respectful. It wasn't about me. It's about the girls. So I refrained from...
They would have been polite. They would have been polite about it, and they would have said probably it was, oh, this is really cool or whatever. But it's just like, when they were leaving us, they were going to do Japanese media in the next room, which Alan and I didn't know. And we were like being like babbling fanboys in the other room, and they came in and told us to be quiet.
Oh yeah, they told us to be quiet. That's right. I forgot about that. Koba gave us the look, and then we're like, "Oh, we're sorry." It's like, "Oh no problem." Then we got the look from Koba to shut the fuck up.
It's like, all right, you got what you need. Now leave.
Bot says, how many takes did it take for them to answer the question? None at all. It was all in one take. Most of the questions were all in one take. There's one question we had to re-ask again, and that was it. It was literally just one question we had to rephrase. But other than that, everything was smooth because we give it to them ahead of time, the questions, so it was a smooth ordeal or whatnot.
Right, and then they even told me the order of who to ask what. I mean, so that was no problem. But I was really surprised that they actually were gave me questions specifically for Moa, for Sue, and for Momo. That was a big surprise when the translator was telling us that. I was just like, wow, that's cool. I'm about that. And that worked out really well because the fans went nuts that Momo was talking.
Yeah. This is a good question too right here. Did you get the feeling that you'll be able to do this again next time they are in New York? I do have a good feeling.
Absolutely, positively, without a doubt. I actually can confirm that.
And I'll be there. And I'm going to actually ask a question this time.
Yeah, we'll split the questions up.
I'll ask the question.
And I will hold all the bags and try to fucking be there somehow.
And Eric will be there just carrying stuff up the stairs.
Yeah, there you go. I'm down.
Actually, they needed a bigger venue, man. Hammerstein was too small for that crowd.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden next, right?
Dude, I swear, when we first met and I was on your podcast, and I said, I said that I saw him in 2014 at the Hammerstein, and everybody's like, they'll never do that again. They'll never do that again. Next time it'll be MSG. And here we are. They did the same venue.
Yeah.
It was great, though. It's great. The sound in that venue was awesome.
Man, I was just grateful I got to see them, honestly. That's the reason why I went to Austria. other than like meeting people also. But I was like,
Right.
I don't know if I won't be able to see them, because I was so worried about them like disappearing or something. And was so fortunate to actually see them. And the funny thing was, in Austria, we all talked. For those who were there, we were all talking about this in that hotel room in Austria. We're all like, wouldn't it be crazy if we could interview Babymetal? And I'm like, that's never gonna happen. There's no way. I was like, Nemophila, yeah. And then we did Nemophila, right? And I was like, and named off the bands I knew it could happen. I was like, Babymetal's never gonna happen. And then literally, Sergei Moldes buys me a plane ticket to see them in New York, and I'm forever grateful, man. And literally, Joe calls me right afterwards. They're like, "Hey, we're doing an interview with Babymetal," and I had to keep my mouth shut for like God knows how long about that. I couldn't tell anybody that was happening, so I had to hold that in. And for those that know me, I just struggle to keep my mouth shut on things that are happening. So I was like,
"Oh, you did good with Bandmaid. You knew about that a long time in advance."
Yeah, we knew a lot of these things. We know like way in advance, but it's just like a lot of behind the scenes we got to get taken care of. That's why you got to hit the bell for notifications on the Dichotic channel, okay?
No, for real.
Subscribe, because you never know. You never know what's in the future.
Can I let a little cat out of the bag?
That's up to you. I like, because this is
as long as you don't get in trouble.
As long as you don't get in trouble, I'm not saying nothing. You can if you want. I just don't want you to get in trouble or lose any opportunities.
What am I going to lose? I mean, I just sent an email. I mean,
I think we should wait. I think we should just like.
Oh, you don't want me to say it?
I kind of feel like we should just like drop it on them. I think that's more fun. I think that interview was unexpected for everybody.
Now they're gonna expect something though.
Well, you know what it is. It could be nothing. It could be just Eric doing a nipple tassel dance again. We don't know.
Well, I don't know what you guys have planned. So
it's up to you, Joe. If you want to say it, go for it.
No, I'll wait.
Alan is
awesome,
me.
You blue balled the entire chat right now.
I just triggered the whole chat. It's okay. Only you guys are gonna know about this. Only the 50 people here.
I'm used to it. I have a friend like that. It's awful.
What? Oh, dude, I hate that shit.
My friend constantly blue balls me, dude. So this crazy thing happened to me the other day.
See, I'm like, so this is where I help Joe. I keep him like from saying stuff too, because I don't want him to lose his opportunities. Because he gets overly excited also.
Lose your opportunity if I lose my opportunity?
Yes. Yes. Timeout inbound for Joe. No, seriously though, it's up to you. I don't know how that works, because
that's all right.
You know how
I could wait. It'll be more fun if we wait.
Yeah, it'll be more fun. I know it sucks.
At least let me get confirmation.
Yeah, let's get confirmation. Yeah. Then there's a lot. Joe and I had a lot of back and forth.
It's gonna happen.
I can tell you this. Joe and I had a lot of back and forth behind the scenes. Like, hey man, we gotta wait on that. We're just too excited to like say it. And I don't blame you. Like, I'm blue balling myself. So I'm.
Yeah, I know. So I feel the same thing, man. Because it's just like.
Hit that bell for notifications. Subscribe to their YouTube channel.
Ring that freaking bell.
And if you're watching
and go back to the Babymetal interview and leave a fresh comment and say how much you loved it. And because I think what the band does a lot of times too is they look at the newest comments. They don't just go from the top down. A lot of times what they'll do is they hit the newest comments. So if you left a comment the day it aired, if you want them to see it, good chance if you post one now, they'll see it.
Yeah. So, I wonder how much Koba checks all his comments,
Probably. I'm sure they got a team that does it. But you know what? Seeing what he did, it wouldn't surprise me if he did stuff like that, especially since that went kind of viral,
Yeah.
He's
at 100K already. So.
Yeah, it's like, what, 112K?
Yeah. Yeah, it's doing great. So
what they did for me at work?
It.
I wish I had a picture of it. I got to tell you.
What did they do for you at work?
I was so excited that everybody here was like so excited that this thing was blowing up. And every day I'd come in and they're like, it's at 60K, it's at 70K, stuff like that. I came in today and I hadn't been back since it turned over 100.
Yeah.
They had a cake for me and it said 100K. And then after in quotes after that, it said AKE. So it was 100K cake.
Oh, nice.
So they were, that was the web team was just like, thanks a lot, man. We were like struggling for content. You came through and hit a home run.
You know why this is a big deal too. So Joe and I talked about it. You guys know I've done multiple YouTube channels and helping. Well, I don't actually think I've mentioned this. So I do YouTube management on the side with other creators and help them blow up their channels and stuff like that. And a big thing with YouTube that is a huge issue is it goes off of the subscribers that you already have first. So that's why the 112 is more impressive, because probably a lot of the original subscribers didn't watch it because they have 500,000, right? So maybe some of them did, but YouTube will only push a video out further if the people that you already have as an audience watch that video. So that means probably a little bit of them watched the video and it helped push it, but it's actually pretty impressive that it hit 112, because I don't think all of the original subscribers watched it. And I guarantee you, I forgot to look up the stats because I was going to mention this on this podcast, but you guys probably got more subscribers from that interview anyways.
Yeah, there was a spike.
Yeah.
There was a spike. So, they didn't tell me the number.
So now the next Japanese rock band that we interview, or that you interview and put up, is the video is going to probably do really good, because now normally if people like Babymetal, they normally like some of the other bands, so it'll help push future videos for you, so it'll look good either way.
Well, the thing was, I had wanted to get Hanabi when they were here, and it just wound up I couldn't. I actually could have went to the show that night, but I couldn't reach out to them in time to interview them, because I wanted to put them, and get some of the newer bands. Like, we did name a Phil already.
Well, when I talked to their management, they said they weren't doing interviews this round of touring. So,
all right, so it's good. Then I don't feel like I fucked up.
Yeah, they probably would have said no, because they said no to me. But then again, you're Fox News, so. But I don't know. Right. They didn't do a single interview though. So if you look online, there's no interview from their tour, so they weren't doing them, and that's what Ken told me. Kenny, their tour manager, he told me that. Well, by the way, speaking of Hanabi, it was so cool to see such an excited manager. Like, he legit loves Hanabi. You don't see that very often, where the manager loves the band so much. He was like singing all the songs and everything. It was just wild. But anyways, besides the point, yeah, they weren't doing interviews, but they were down to talk with us. So I was like, that was cool.
Well, here's the deal. I will use the Babymetal video and how it did to bring in other bands and say, let me do this for you.
Yeah, I think they'll say yes. I think when they're planned for it, because I think their English is just not as good as Babymetal's English. Like, they could have a conversation. No. Yukina had a great dialogue back and forth with me, so I was kind of shocked by that a little bit, because when I met her in Nebraska, she didn't really say much. She just told me no to the picture, which is funny because then she said yes later at Aftershock. But it seemed like she didn't know too much. But then when I was talking to her at Aftershock, I was like, oh, no, she does know quite a bit of English. So I'm not sure what the reason is, actually. Who knows? I'm just like kind of talking it out.
Whatever. But
yeah,
next band speaks English, so.
Yes, next band speaks English. There's your hint. Next band speaks English.
Yeah, that's the tease.
There you go. There's your tease. Enjoy.
I know what it is.
So, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should be following us on Twitch, because you don't want to miss out on these live conversations over here. We're not going live on YouTube anymore because apparently it's not allowed. But you have any last comments you want to say, Joe?
Nah, man. To everybody that watched the video, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that went and watched it. Everybody that's in the Dichotic verse that has been supportive of me and my efforts. In the Discord, I couldn't. So many people I just would like to thank, and because it was like, look, I sent it out here and here and there, and then, and then Jalen helping me with the translation, because that was murder, because I don't speak Japanese, and they gave me the translation in paragraphs. So how do you know where to put, the translation? So he came and he sat here with me for like 2 hours, and we sat and did all the lower thirds. So, big shout out to Jalen. He's an awesome dude, and he really helped me a lot. But
yeah.
There's a lot more coming down the pike.
Guys, like, comment, subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, make sure you come over to YouTube and drop a comment. Let us know who you want us to interview next and stuff like that. Drop it over there if you're listening. This will be up on the Guys and Guys podcast also if you don't have time to watch the video. See you guys all in the next one. See you.